Riken Yamamoto is the Pritzker winner for the year 2024. His works have been applauded by people around the world, especially for how he is able to achieve a sense of community in each project. Now, I have already made a video about Yamamoto, about what his design style and his philosophies are, and what makes him design the way he does. In this video, I want to dive deeper and look at some of the projects that have led him to be appreciated all over the world. Projects that ultimately led him to be the winner of the Pritzker Prize in 2024. Welcome to Blessedarch, and today on this channel we are looking at 8 projects that have defined the career of Riken Yamamoto. Now, before we dive deeper into the projects that got Riken Yamamoto his Pritzker, I want to talk about something that we all deal with as designers, and that is creating the drawings for our projects. Now, detailing and drafting is an important task of any design process that sometimes takes a lot more time than it should, simply because of the inefficiency of your software. And that is where the sponsors of today's video can help. ZWCAD, offered by ZWSoft, is one of the most promising CAD softwares out there. Now, I know you might be used to using some other CAD software out there, but let me make the case of why ZWCAD might be a better fit for you. One of the biggest reasons to prefer ZWCAD is because of how efficient it is. The installer package is much smaller compared to the other CAD software out there, and the installation in many cases takes less than a minute. Now, once it's installed, it opens very fast, and this is irrespective of how heavy your file is. When you open the software, you will find that it feels very familiar, and that is because they deliberately did not want to make you go through the hassle of learning new layouts and straight away jump into your work. The software works brilliantly even with very heavy files. Also, all files from any other CAD software are compatible with ZWCAD, so you do not need to worry at all about any loss of data. And along with all the regular CAD stuff, it also has some new features like inserting voice notes into your drawings. These features make your workflow so much easier and so much faster. Let's do a few more layout options for this particular module. Also, one of the best parts is you can get this software for a single perpetual license and you do not need to renew it year after year. But don't just take my word, you can actually check out this software for yourself. Go to the link in my description and you can get this software free for 30 days. Try it out and see for yourself how much easier and faster it can make your drafting process. And now let's get back to our video and discuss the career-defining projects of the Pritzker winner Riken Yamamoto. The first project on our list is one of the early projects completed by Yamamoto, and that is the Yamakawa Villa. The client wanted a summer house with a spacious terrace that could be open to air and he could relax in the whole day long. Yamamoto came up with an innovative design. He designed the entire house as an open terrace with private areas standing separate from each other. In this way, he was able to unite these different functions of the house under one roof and yet keep the majority of the house open, almost like a terrace. The project is important not only because it was one of his first, but in Yamamoto's own words, looking back, I believe the project greatly influenced my subsequent approach. And because in this early design we see the traces of his design style today, it definitely deserves to be on this list. The second project is Riken Yamamoto's very own house. Called Gazebo, this self-designed home in Yokohama is carefully designed to increase as much interaction with neighbors as possible. The planning laws of the areas were changed in 1954, which saw the widening of road networks. And this meant that the community exchanges that used to happen at the ground level were now disappearing. So Yamamoto built this house with open terraces to connect with his neighbors on various levels. The exchanges that would have happened on the ground level have just shifted up, but the sense of community is maintained. Again, this is a strong project that speaks to his ideologies and thus is a part of this list. The next project on our list is the Saitama Prefectural University. This, in my opinion, is one of the most powerful projects by Yamamoto. This vast complex, which is dedicated to nursing and health sciences, is actually made up of 9 different buildings. But being in this campus, you might not feel that. The buildings are connected by terraces and walkways, and large chunks of these are transparent. So you will not know where one department ends and the other begins. And this was precisely what the designers wanted to do. They envisioned the entire campus as one, and then solved for each of the departments. The whole campus design almost feels like the design of a city. The campus opened in 1999 and has been one of the most powerful and impactful projects built by Yamamoto. The next project on our list is probably the most well-known project by the architect, and this is the Hiroshima Nishi Fire Station. Now, in my Pritzker video and in the discussion of the previous projects, you've understood how important community engagement is to Riken Yamamoto. And this project is probably one of the best examples of how he works to achieve that. The idea of the design was to showcase how firefighters train to keep the community safe. The central area is where the training takes place, and many rooms open up to this space. And there is even an exhibition lobby and visitors terrace to allow people to commune, collect, and look at the training sessions, understanding the effort that goes into keeping a community safe. This was a very important and impactful project by Yamamoto that opened back in 2000 and thus deserves to be on this list. Number 5 on our list is the Giany Soho in China. We have all seen multifunctional complexes around the world, but within these, how do you create spaces for community exchanges? Well, maybe Yamamoto's approach can shed some light. 9 residential towers sit alongside 4 smaller volumes that contain living units and smaller offices. Commercial facilities are located on the 3 bottom floors. The architect created spaces within this entire design that could invite the community in. From the central plaza that connects the facilities to a sunken garden to spaces between the buildings which are treated as streets, it's all designed to invite people in. So instead of a gated residential community, Yamamoto designed a new square and public streets within the complex that can become an active part of the community. Next up on our list is one of the most beautiful projects by Yamamoto, and that is the Yokosuka Museum of Art in Japan. Now, the site itself played a big part in this design. The site faced the sea to the north and was surrounded by mountains. So Yamamoto came up with the idea of burying the entire structure into the site so that the structure could serve as a public space where people could come and enjoy the beautiful views of the natural surroundings. In this approach, the design catered to both visitors of the museum and also the local residents of the area. Honestly, the beautiful treatment of the site is one of the prime reasons to have this project on this list. Number 7 on our list is the Fusa City Hall in Japan. This structure has 2 volumes that are connected at the base with a garden. The structure on which the garden sits is called the Forum. This forum and the rooftop garden is open to citizens and creates a new space for people to gather for various events. The tower themselves also have some innovative design techniques. The structural elements of the building are all located on the facade, freeing up a lot of the space in the interior planning of these towers. Also, you might notice as the building rises, the pillars and beams of the outer structure become thinner. And also the entire skin structure is factory made with precast concrete. This is another structure by Yamamoto that is applauded for its simplicity and beauty. The final project on our list is the Pango Housing in South Korea. This design was actually a competition entry that was won by the firm. The challenge was to create an environmentally friendly, low-rise multi-family housing project in the new town of Pango. As with all of his designs, the sense of community became a big part of this project. The whole design is made in clusters, and each cluster has a communal deck. There are a total of 9 of these clusters, and each of them consists of 9 to 13 residential units with 3 to 4 stories each. The communal deck is on the second floor and connects all the units together. The room that opens up to the deck in each house is completely transparent, and it's called a shiki. Basically, this room acts like a huge porch for each unit, and it can be used as a drawing room, home office, atelier, and many other functions. The reason to keep it transparent is that on this one level, all neighbors can interact with one another. And while privacy is maintained on all the other levels, this one level is for the community. This simple yet strong idea has made this project one of the most important ones on this list. And it is a beautiful example of how Yamamoto likes to play with boundaries and the thresholds that define spaces. And that was it, you guys. Those, in my opinion, were the projects that defined the career of Riken Yamamoto and led him to win the 2024 Pritzker Prize. Which of these was your favorite? Mine was the Yokosuka Museum of Art. Also, would you exclude or include any other project of Yamamoto in this list? Let me know in the comments below. That was it for this video. I will see you guys soon with more such content. Don't forget to subscribe and do check out the other content on the channel. I create some interesting in-depth documentaries on celebrated architects from around the world. You should be seeing some on your screen right now. So happy watching. Bye bye.